let's think back to what makes us happy. Just speaking over here and listening to you guys, I noticed something. What made us happy? Jobs, jobs, money, money. After graduation, we're gonna get so much money. And that's great, and I'm excited for you. But how could we let ourselves be so closed-minded to this education system? Is that our only means to happiness? I'd like to bring to attention the idea of the standardized testing system. Why is this not being reformatted somehow? Why do we still fall into this trap that somehow this design will bring us all to become better people? I'm going to be honest here. I have 3 points for why we need to change to make our education better. One of them is that we need more people to work for economic benefit. There are people who just can't be engineers, and it's true, and you can't judge them for that, now can we? But they still need to make money. So how do we get these people to become more productive in a way that provides money? The next point I would have is that a better education system needs to have us stress and encourage us to become, as a society, better teachers for others. We need to foster a lifelong attitude to just help others, to be humble, to no longer be on this pedestal of I'm better than you because I make more money than you. And lastly, I would like to assert that we need to celebrate diversity more. And that is not something that should be limited or defined by standardized testing. Thank you.
You went for 2 minutes and 10 seconds. You just had one
Okay.
Which was, it's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
That's very good, because most people, when they go their very first time, they have 10 or 11. But it seems like all of us now have improved upon that.
Like
I
we
think
saw.
it's because I'm watching you guys and I'm like, oh God, I need to get it.
So first thoughts. Who wants the first
I thought
thoughts?
your tone was very good. You varied it very well, and it matched your hand gestures. So you're saying, and I don't understand why you had a desperation. So your tone and your hand gestures really coordinated well with each other.
What would you say, Victor?
That was very good.
Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
very confident.
Very confident.
Confidence was exuberating. Gabriel?
Yes.
You were confident?
Yes.
I'd say you did a good job, I know, with the body movement. So you did get this way pretty well, but try to coordinate with what you're saying. I know so you went from first, then you went to second, then you went to third, but do with what Neil had. Neil had a really great movement with
So
his.
like what Dannielle would do is when he says, okay, 1 point I have, yeah, exactly. He moves up, right? And then, he's moving around. Another point I have, he moves based on what he's saying. That's one of Dannielle's strengths.
Okay.
So maybe one thing is, you kind of have a general outline of what you're going to say. Maybe try to move in congruence with what you're going to say, what you want to emphasize. What did you say, Miller?
We only used 2 of the 3 positions, Dannielle. You stood there and you stood here, but you never walked over and talked to that third. Try to always do that. Always,
Yeah, there's
all
no
of you
love
do that.
over here.
Use the thirds.
That's because I don't have any love for that.
That's what I'm saying, all right. But you got to divide your audience into thirds and talk to all 3 of them.
How did he say was?
And your volume was constant and appropriate to the space. Y'all, Neil, you and Gabriel could hear her okay, right? But there wasn't much variation, it was constant.
Okay.
And I don't know, I think it's the genetic makeup of the vocal cords, but most women have a tough time varying their volume. Guys have an easier time with that. So if you're a woman, you got to put more effort into varying that volume.
Is there a way to practice that?
Sure. You make it a point. When you start to talk loud, you say, when I walk up there, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, what topic doesn't match the mainstream media as well as it should? And then you drop down. William's God, but he's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he's the kingpin of it.
So when you're coordinating your hand gestures and your tone, they're on that volume component in it. So your volume is matching your tone as well.
You did a great job of coordinating your facial expression and your tone.
Yes.
Really good. Really good.
How do you
You
say
had a
was your
whole
hand
meeting on that.
gestures?
Awesome.
Did she do all full hand gestures? I would say
Most of your hand gestures were subtle. Most of them were subtle. Was there a dramatic one or two?
I think one or two dramatics, yeah.
Yeah, but most of them were, you know, subtle are done within the outline of your body, dramatic are done outside the outline of your body.
And another one, and this is really nitpicky and hard to give feedback on because it just comes with practice. But when you have your speech right here, and this is hard because it's impromptu, but when you're transitioning your ideas, ideally, what you want to do is just look down and then continue looking at your audience. I first heard that from Miller when I was trying to recite a speech that was on the paper. I would spend time trying to find where I am, and it wasn't that much of a problem with you. It's just it would ease your transitions a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, you do have really nice transitions. No continuous so's or anything like that. It was a lot of variance.
And the one thing that all of us have been trained from Miller is in our speech. What was your last word you said?
I forgot to tell you.
2 words.
2 words.
Was it thank you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's great to be. It's great to be a polite person, but you want to end it more powerfully. The audience, they should be thanking you for your information.
Right.
So what we like to strive for the Public Speaking Club is, and you start powerfully. So you see some people, they ask questions. So who was the first person who made the library system?
Yeah.
But you also end powerfully. Don't end it saying thank you, because that's
Okay.
not strong. So end it almost wrapping it up with a strong point.
maybe like call in action. Wait, what do you want the audience to get out of it? You know, are you informing them, persuading them, trying to entertain them? Something booming as
So
your last
really, like,
sentence.
Next time you struggle with that, are we going to be thinking about, is this going to be affecting my job, or is it more important? Is it going to be reaching towards that?
Or read more books. You're paying for it.
Exactly.
You're gonna go to the library now, aren't
Yeah.
you?
So I would say that was definitely very strong for your first time, Danielle.
Okay.
And yeah, very
That was
strong.
your first time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Now just at the nitpicky ones. First, I would say is
Vary your volume.
vary the volume. So try making a point to start out kind of like what we said to, I think it was Scott? No, it was to you, Neil. Neil, start with the booming voice,
Yeah.
then try to taper down, and do that throughout. First, second, we said was the
There's movement, there's hand gestures. Sorry, I'm
Outer.
not so dramatic hand gestures.
okay.
Not necessarily like that.
And what was the third and last one?
It was
Thank you.
Don't end in thank you.
Don't end with thank you.
We should thank you,
move
Danielle.
around.
But I would say that was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Okay.